I don't know how to present this, but I'm going to put it on my thing. Life is paramount.
Just what's on the van here? What do you put on that wave? Audio wave to microwave the people? This is coming out of Epic Showground, and it's a police car with a microwave radiation.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question to you is based upon your authority under the Parliamentary Precincts Act of 1988, which gives the presiding officers the responsibility for control and management of the Parliament House and its immediate surroundings. Last Saturday, the 12th of February, Canberra witnessed the largest ever protest in the nation's capital, when many tens of thousands of Australians travelled from...
The member for Hughes, this is not an opportunity to make a statement. Do you have a question
I
for
do,
me?
Mr. Speaker.
Just get straight to the question, please.
During that protest, can the Speaker confirm if the AFP positioned one or more long-range acoustic devices in the parliamentary precincts with the intention that it be used as a sonic weapon against protesters that included nurses, school teachers and paramedics? Did the AFP seek approval from the presiding officers to deploy such a device? And was the long-range acoustic device used against the protesters on that day?
Order. Order. I'll report back to the House on that.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
In due course.
These questions are coming from a constituent. In relation to the convoy to Canberra protest activity at Parliament House just last weekend, pictures of the day appear to show some types of devices at the front of Parliament House in between the entry to Parliament and Parliament lawns where the protest was in fact occurring. Can you confirm whether the AFP had long-range acoustic devices at Parliament House on Saturday?
That would be something that is our police methodology, which we would have to look at some sort of public interest immunity claim. Senator?
Is there any, surely it's in the public interest to know whether or not they were there without delving too much into
I'd have to, if I could take that on notice, I'd have to get advice.
Okay, I'll be happy. I understand. I'll be happy for that. And also, if you could tell us what type they were, please.
Sure.
And can you confirm whether or not they were used at any point?
Sure.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist or any of all that stuff, but the stuff that they're talking about with the acoustic devices and the radiation and all that sort of stuff, it's pretty real. Wouldn't believe it unless I'd seen it. Spent a month up in the Kimberleys in the Pilbara, didn't put on sunscreen once, and spent half a day in the shade at Parliament House, and we're all roasted, like everyone. I've got a sunny's tan, the lips are cracking. Every single person is pretty much the same. There's people that are quite ill.
wave of extreme heat that comes from nowhere. It's one of the U.S. military's newest non-lethal weapons, an electromagnetic beam that emits an odorless, invisible, and silent blast of heat.
It felt like opening up an oven door, almost mixed with a sting from about my sternum to my neck. So, like, you started really feeling it on my neck before I had to kind of instinctually jump out of the way.
This weapon, under development for 15 years,
Really? It's unbelievable. It's at 18,000 and it's actually thrown the fucking meter out.
Yeah. Wow.
16, 19.
I've never seen it that high in my life.
Either.
I've never seen it that high in my fucking life.
That is getting fucking fried. That is getting microwaved. It's dropped out on peak.
Yeah.
20,000.
Yeah.
So what's that? 20 times the legal amount of EMF reading.
Yeah. It's more than I've ever seen in my life. Ever. I've never seen more than that.
Really?
It's unbelievable.
It's at 18,000 and it's actually thrown the fucking meter out.
Yeah.
16, 19.
I've never seen it that high in my life. I've never ever seen it that high in my fucking life.
That is getting fucking fried. That is getting microwaved.
Look,
it's dropped out on peak.
Yeah.
20,000.
Yeah.
So what's that? 20 times the legal amount of EMF reading.
Yeah. It's more than I've ever seen in my life. Ever. I've never seen more than that.
Quite a lot of us have been burnt here over the weekend, and I do have sunburn too.
Yep.
But the first day I had a hat and sunscreen on, and my lips just broke out in these blisters. These feel more like chemical burn.
Yep.
And these lips, some of the old, it does not affecting everyone the same. Obviously, all our bodies are different.
Yep.
So there were people in a first aid tent that were holding their ground because they had sick people there. And we've got the blue shirt police that were fairly friendly.
Yeah.
Under the circumstances, and then you've got these other black ones. Our country's in distress. The fucking show is not as important as our parliament being taken over by foreign corporate entities. And these people are protecting the show instead of us. So I don't know what happened to that woman. These evil men in black got her. She was on her knees peacefully, and they're just yelling and screaming at her. They've got the dog going. I don't know if the dog got her, but one woman, I could have taken her down on my own. Not fucking 10 guys. I don't know, like 6 guys on this woman and a fucking dog threatening her as well. It's just too much for our Australian people, and we're all cooked. We're literally fried. And did I think I'd ever want to talk on a camera looking like this?
Yeah.
People need to see this. Some of the old people, we've tell everyone that you can just to take a photo, so we've got that evidence of like this is something not natural. We don't know if they're using weapons against their own people, is what it seems like. And just watching that is something to watch it on TV, but to see it in
to actually experience something like that.
The not protesters, the Australian people who have come to petition their government for help because they're under stress from corporations with thugs, from medical mafia with do against love. They only know how to work against hate, hatred and violence, and all we bring is love, and they don't know what to do, and we're going to keep bringing that love back. You've said that the protest is illegal. Is it time for police to move them out?
Protest is not illegal in New Zealand. Building camps on the lawn of Parliament, obstructing the ability of young people to go to school, of workers to operate, and harassing those who are wearing masks and taking measures to keep themselves safe. That is the activity that is absolutely unacceptable, and that everyone in Parliament, I've heard, has called on that to end.
But do police need to start coming in harder and moving them on?
You'll know, and I will be absolutely consistent on this. The way that the protest and the occupation is managed is for the police, and it is so important that you don't have politicians stepping into the space where we seem to give instruction on that. It's a convention we won't break.
Is that true? Because you sent in ministers to negotiate at Ihumātao, or you sent in 2 of your ministers. Why will you not do that here?
Again, what you're asking is for instruction or opinion on the management of a protest. It would not be right for any minister or anyone in government to give instruction to the New Zealand Police. We've never broken that convention, and we won't here. We've been very clear on our view of what is happening there. In this country, we are all used to accept and celebrate the fact we're a democracy where protests can occur.
I want this to serve as my personal witness statement. My name is Adam Jackson. I was a sniper team commander. I was in the military for 12 years. I trained sniper teams all around the world. I worked with the Deputy Director of Public Health, Ministry of Health for 3 years on different health programs within the military. I wrote health policy for the New Zealand Defence Force, an organisation 10,000 people large. I worked on various health and performance programs. I worked in cultural development with large groups. I worked with a lot of military psychologists. I worked in boards of teams of doctors, psychologists, social workers, padres on health policy. I've delivered my work to 2 international symposiums. I've delivered training to every NATO head of state or head of sniper capability. I've worked with athletes, taking them from phobic to world champ qualifiers, and I currently work with an ex-world champion. I've worked with sports franchises, some of the best in the country, going through their cultures. I've pretty much worked in every applicable area of human manipulation. I've worked with a Canadian PsyOps team. I've been deployed on operations in field surveillance teams with human intelligence. Right. What I saw, I was attending the protest, and the protest had just finished singing the national anthem. Extremely peaceful, extremely loving. I observed on the Parliament building, they started bringing out these speakers, and I thought, oh, maybe someone's going to address the crowd. And then they started blasting irritating, repetitive music at the crowd. Now, what hit me is when this frequency hit my ear, it took me straight back to a memory that I have. And what they are doing is using enhanced interrogation tactics designed to break down the mind on the protesters. This is using a weapon against its own population. Our government is attacking its own people. If we accept this, then we accept this North Korean kind of behaviour into our country. There is no justification for this. None. Anyone who tries to justify this, please take a hard look at yourself. This is not childish. This is nasty. Nasty tactics. used by government on its people. Everybody needs to ask themselves now, do we accept this kind of treatment of our own people? I'd like to speak directly to the brigade commander of our army. I remember he gave me a book once, and in that book was some very powerful messages. The one I want to send is the opposite of fear is love. I've seen your heart, and I know that you're a good man. Your people need you. People need to start stepping up and standing up, and they need the permission to do that. I'm not asking for extreme action. Just ask questions, allow people to speak, allow people to question, stop censoring people. Take away the shame. To the people in New Zealand, we really need to ask ourselves, is this okay? I know this is hard to face, but this is happening. Until I went there and I saw that, I held on to some form of hope that maybe this was all misled. That was a clear demonstration of behaviour, and it broke my heart how they accept treating other people. They're using a highly effective psychological weapon on our own people.
Righto. Never lose truth. 3. Share the shit out of this.